Hey, what's up, guys? Jason here. Hey, first thing I want to do is apologize to you for not having a video for you yesterday. It's really important to me to get you guys some content every week. I have some stuff, but we did not get it done with the editing yet. So, it's coming. We have some good stuff for you, some interesting things. Hopefully, you really like them. But today, what I want to talk about is a couple things. I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to really maximize your finances. But 2, I want to know, what do you want to know more about? What are you struggling with? Put a comment down below. Tell me, what do you want to know more about? This is the thing. This is the thing that I know. If your money is not right, there's other things that you're probably struggling with. You think sometimes you're struggling with your relationship. You think sometimes you're struggling with your job. You think sometimes, your health is struggling. But when you really look at the root cause of a lot of these problems, sometimes they're financial. The stress is causing you to get sick more often. You're fighting with your wife or your girlfriend because you guys aren't on the same page with money. You're stressed out because you don't think you're going to be able to retire on time, and you might be 50 or 55 years old. This is the thing. I want to help you. So, the only way I can help you is to know what you want to know more about, what you're struggling with. We've talked about student loans so far. We've talked about how can millennials retire with enough money. We've talked about what should Donald Trump or Hillary do about the student loan crisis. Well, this is the thing. The other thing we have to be realistic with, I guess you could say, or take ownership of, is that the government is not going to save us, okay? So you have to take responsibility for your situation, and the only way to do that is to get the knowledge you need and then to take action on that knowledge so that you are moving forward, making progress consistently, because if you're not making progress, you're going to be very frustrated and unhappy. So I'm here to help you make progress. So I'm going to give you 3 tips real quick to help you out to get some progress going with your life. So tip number 1 is, before you invest in anything, make sure you understand it. Do not ever invest in anything that you don't understand. If you couldn't explain it to where a 5th grader could understand it, you probably shouldn't be investing there. So investments are not that tricky. There's some stuff that can get pretty tricky, but in general, most things are not that tricky. So you better understand what you're investing in before you put any money there, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, before you start investing, I want to make sure you have a good financial foundation. Really important, okay? I want you to have at least 3 months of cash saved up of your expenses. So what does that mean? Doesn't mean how much you make in income in 3 months. It just means figure out what your expenses are. Add up your rent, utilities, your food, all those different things. Find out what the minimum number is that you could live off of if you had to, and multiply that times 3, maybe even 6, depending how variable your income is. So if you have a highly variable income, probably go to 6, okay? But get that cash put aside, because what I don't want you to do is start investing like I'm going to talk to you about in the next step, and then something happens and you go pull money out and you pay a penalty and you pay taxes, and it just really doesn't do you any good to be investing before you have this foundation, okay? So know what you're investing in. Number 2, build a foundation financially of cash, okay? Then when you're ready to start investing, good place to start if you work for a big company is if you have a 401k and you have a match, get that 401k match. A lot of times it's 3% up to 6%. That's the average. I've seen higher and I've seen lower. But get that match, because say it's 50%, well, that's like free money. I mean, you're not going to get a 50% return on a regular basis from the stock market, so you want to get that. A lot of companies do 100% match, so get that match, okay? That's number 1. After that, then take the next money you have available, put that to a Roth IRA, okay? Big fan of the Roth IRA. There's so many good things that a Roth IRA can do for you, but if you make too much to contribute to that, I believe it's $114,000 if you're single and $184,000 if you're married. So if you make over those numbers, technically you can't contribute directly to a Roth. But I have a solution for you. If you go to my blog at kisplanning.com, there is an article to teach you about a backdoor Roth IRA. So backdoor, nothing shady. All it means is you have to go about getting money into a Roth account in a different way, and I'll walk you through all those steps there on my website. So that's if you make over, I believe it's 114 single, 184,000 if you're married. So 401k, get your 5% match. Next, go to your Roth IRA and max that thing out, $5,500 per person if you're married, and it's $6,500 if you're 50 years or older, okay? So if you can do the 401k match, Roth IRA match, and you want to invest some more, you have two options at that point. You can go to a taxable account, or you can go back to your 401k. So general advice is to go back to your 401k to get the tax deferred money. And if you go to a taxable account, what that means is, if you never heard that term before, essentially you could potentially pay taxes on that account every year. So if you're investing in mutual funds, for example, mutual funds are going to have some turnover typically each year, and so every time there's turnover, they sell some of the stocks, and that means that if there's gains, you're going to have to pay some taxes on it every year. If you get a very low turnover fund, something like the Vanguard Total Stock Market Fund, has very low turnover, it's actually a really good fund to invest in a taxable account. I'm not giving you this investment as investment advice, but look into something like that. Do your research before you do that, but make sure you invest in some sort of low turnover account so that you're not paying a bunch of taxes every year to do that taxable. I think both can be good. Taxable is good if you're going to need the money before you're 59 and a half, because if you have to take the money out before then, you're going to pay taxes and you're going to pay penalties if it comes out of your 401k. So a taxable account can be good. When you look at percentages, I like to look at things in percentages because actual dollar amount, sometimes everyone's a little bit different, But if we live our life in, percentages as far as what we're going to do with our money, it seems to make a lot more, it's a lot more generally applicable to most people. So typically I recommend for people to put from 10 to 20% of their income into their long-term investing, okay? So if all you're going to do is work for your job, and you're not going to do anything else outside of that, just go for 15 or 20%, okay? If you're the type of person that potentially will start a side business, will use this money to invest in your personal growth, take classes, go to conferences, buy books, take that 10% and invest it in yourself, because you know what? In my opinion, there's no better investment than yourself. You're going to return a lot more over time than the stock market if you continuously invest in yourself. So I think it's really important to always be growing and learning and expanding your skill set. So if you had to take some of that money and do that, and you weren't going to hit that 20% mark or 15% mark even, I think that's okay. But make sure you're taking those skills and you're using them. You're applying them in the marketplace, and you're using them to grow your income and to also grow anything that you're doing to take it to the next level. And you know what? Some of it might be used to fail more often, and that's okay. Failing is okay. If you're not failing consistently, it means you're probably not trying hard enough. So I think it's okay to fail. So go out there and learn, bump around a little bit, see what works for you, but always be putting something away for your long-term investing, no matter what. And you can start with the 401k and the Roth IRA, and then go from there. So hopefully you got a lot out of what I taught you today, and you'll come back. Please subscribe below. Don't forget, leave a comment. Tell me what you want to know more about. I will do my best to, I will answer every comment that you leave. I promise you that. And I will do my best to get you content that answers all the questions that you have for me, and then some, okay? Once again, my name is Jason with KIS Financial Planning, and that's my company, kisplanning.com. The link will be in the description. Reach out to me there if you have any questions, all right? Make it a good one.